Good evening, guys. Eddie and Kristen here. We just wanted to check in with you and also just thank everybody who's watching us and liking our videos. We're definitely not trying to get famous off of it. We're just excited to be doing it and just want to share it and document it for ourselves and just show it with anybody who cares to watch.
And also show how y'all can do it too. Like, we don't want it to be like, oh, Kristen and Eddie are, you know, obnoxious and just posting about themselves and just trying to, like you said, like get famous or something. We wanted everyone else to be able to share this beautiful little simple life we have too. So
yeah, because before we started going with this lifestyle, I would be on the phone watching people's YouTube channels and vlogs of like these people. But what I didn't understand is like they never kind of went into detail like how they were able to afford to do it. Like, did your daddy give you a lot of money? You know, have you been working on the corner? I don't know. I just want to know, like, and I love it when they say like, we work remotely. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, can I get some of that work? Like, because I'm out here working in the heat. In
the heat?
Yeah, just
you don't work in the heat. You work in a diner.
Hey, I did do a fence job for a couple months ago, so leave me alone. You know what I mean?
And massage your back
that 3 months accounts for your whole life of work. I'm just
We're blessed to you know, have been able to be in the serving industry where we can make $100 a day asking people how they want their eggs cooked, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just gel your hair and that's it. But so we wanted to kind of make a video and kind of show you how we got to where we are. And because we don't make a lot of money, we weren't given a lot of money. We've had to work for everything that we have.
Yeah.
And just how blessed we are and how thankful we are to be able to do so. So, when me and Kristen first started dating, it was in October, kind of late October. So it was near her birthday. I remember I was trying to do something really extravagant for her birthday because it was, you know, it was that new relationship. I wanted to really impress. I wanted to keep her around forever. So I really wanted to go all out. So in my budget, what I could do was I started looking around on just something special. Like, I got the Airbnb app and I started looking up different places to rent. Like, I was gonna rent a house. I was like, yeah, you know, I'll decorate it, do something special. But I was just one night, real late at night, I was stupid phone. Real late at night, I was looking on the Airbnb app and I came across a houseboat for rent, and I was like, wow, that's a cool concept, you know what I mean? It's something different. So I ended up booking that houseboat and decorating it, going all out. We'll get into that another time, but you know, I did a good job. You know what I mean? She stuck around. So
I paid him back for it eventually.
Yeah, so we got the houseboat, got everything set up in it, and through that experience, we were like, man, we met the couple that was hosting us and they were living on a boat on the other side of the marina with 2 kids. And I'm like, you know, so I started talking to this guy, like, you know, why are you doing what you're doing? How are you doing it? You know, he kind of started going with the mindset like, the less I have, the happier I become. He kind of planted that seed within me and how happy he was, how his life was having more wholesome experiences by the lifestyle that he was living, by having less but experiencing more. So that kind of planted the seed. We were eventually we wanted to get a boat, but we knew nothing about boats. I didn't. I just liked the concept of what they were doing, like traveling. So then Kristen.
Yeah, so I, after that date, I knew I had to try to top him off, so to speak. So I went home the next day and I was brainstorming with my dad. I was like, man, I really want to do something cool for Eddie. Like, he took me out on a houseboat last night. It was super cool. And I was like, how do I do it? And he's like, why don't you rent like a cabin at the local KOA? I was like, oh yeah, the local KOA. That sounds real romantic. Okay. He's like, no, just rent the cabin and, you know, I'll help you. You can set up like flowers and candles. And he was being super, you know, romantic. And
basically she was trying to mock my idea.
Oh yeah, and he even said that too. He was like, wow, this is just like my idea, but on land. That's cool.
Woodsy, but it was cool.
Yeah, because it got us our camper. So, so yeah, so we got the cabin. We stayed in there, and then the next day when we were going to check out, I think it was we went and we talked to the lady at the front desk, and she said that her and her husband both worked there, and that they were moving to Montana soon to go work at another campsite. And we were just kind of dumbfounded. And she's like, yeah, we're work campers. We work for the company KOA, and we travel all around the country. They let you live there for almost free, right? Almost free. And they pay you. So it's a good way to travel if you don't have a lot of money and, you know, you want to have a good time and work hard. So we're like, all right, man, this is it. We're gonna get a camper then. Screw the boat idea. We're gonna get a camper. And so I won that.
Yeah, so that kind of planted the seed, like, all right, it went from boat to camper because we knew nothing about boats, and then we're like, all right, I like this camper thing. Then we also like the fact that, okay, there's a way to not be, you know, so hippie-ish about it, like we're just gonna travel out into the sunset with the camper in no direction. So I was like, here's a way that you can kind of work for a company, generate money, and live for free. You can put the vessel, so to speak, that you've already bought to work for you and eliminate housing costs, utility costs, and be able to travel and see beautiful things instead of just being locked into a job that you're just barely making your rent and you just stay there for the rest of your life pissed off. Because I know that I was getting pissed off and I had to make a change. I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but directions and, you know, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, just put us in the right position at the right time for us. And that's just what we wanted to do. So we started looking around at different campers and dealerships, and we ended up finding one. We got a price. It was like $10,000, $11,000. So we started in January of 2019. That's when. So we basically had $0 toward anything, if that can give you a concept. So we were working at a very high volume bar called Pier 220. We had transferred from Orleans, and we were making about $1,000 a week each.
Yeah.
And I was living at home with my mom, and luckily, thankfully, she wasn't charging me anything. I was getting back on my feet, and so
I was living with my dad too.
Yeah, so instead of, like I was doing in the past, you know, squandering the time that, you know, I was staying there for free, I got a vision. That's what you need, is the vision and the goal. And once we had the vision, I was able to be like, I want to work towards that. I want to save my money. So we started saving our money towards it.
So from January 2019 to April 2019, we saved up about 12 grand collectively. So that equals out to, if we were making $1,000 a week, we were only saving at $400 the most. So you still had, you know, $600 to play with or pay your bills with, and that's really plenty. So we buckled down, we did that, we saved up the 12 grand, and we show up like the first week of April, and we're like, all right, here's 12 grand cash, we're buying this camper. Because we went and we looked at it like twice a week for a couple of weeks, and
just to keep it fresh in our minds and to keep that goal there. And like I said, I was living with my mom, so they didn't have a rent cost, so that's why I was able to, within this month, save this much money.
Yeah. And I paid rent at my dad's house, but Eddie and I like worked it out to where if I paid more for rent, he would pay more towards the camper, and so it worked out good. It is really good to have a partner to do it with you, but you can still do it without one.
So after we bought the vessel, so it cost us $12,000, vessel, that's funny, camper, whatever you want to call it, cost us $12,000, and that brings us to, from January to April, we realized that the bar we were working in was kind of taking a toll on our relationship. We were creating problems for ourselves. You know, I had some issues that I needed to deal with, and they just weren't cohesive for you know, a healthy relationship. So we talked about it, worked together. We decided to leave that higher paying job, and you know, I ended up going through a couple different jobs. I worked for another restaurant, I worked for a fence company, then I ended up at a diner. And in essence, basically what I'm saying is that we took a big pay cut. So from $2,000 a week collectively, we probably went down to $1,200 a week collectively between the both of us. So through that, we were very discouraged, but instead of letting the discourage, you know, deter us and just be like, we're never going to be able to get to our goal of traveling, we kind of used that as fuel to learn how to budget and exercise discipline and stop going out and spending unnecessary money on things. We kind of we identified our vices, and then we decided, you know, together that we were going to learn how to better control them and, you know, accomplish a dream. We wanted to set out to do this, and we want to finish what we set out to do. Yeah, and it was good. We just had to keep reminding each other that our relationship was worth more than how much money we were making at a bar. So when he got the day job at the diner, I got the day job at the golf course, and it was good. We both got up at the same time, we were able to make dinner together, and
And it was a life that was good for us. I'm not saying that that's the life good for everyone, but after working in the service industry, you know, our whole working career, we were ready to live normal lives, right? So to say.
Yeah, the day jobs definitely helped us out. They give you a routine, which is something that I needed because I'm very good with routine. And once I do that and I start seeing how much I'm making, how much I'm saving, then it helped me just to set up a better budgeting situation. So from April until the next February, we just left on February 11th, we saved up. We got credit cards, built our credit, and we were able to put $2,000 down on a F-150. It costs $11 total, so we're still making minimum payments on that, but we're building our credit doing that.
Yeah, and we also were able to buy a little SUV that I drive, buy that cash. We were able to buy this sway bar system for the truck. Your dad. Yeah, we bought it from my dad.
Yeah, he gave us a good deal.
Well, oh yeah, okay. So we bought the CRV for my dad. We bought the sway bar system, the transmission cooler. You know, we got Wilson cured of heartworms, and that was like almost $2,000 itself. So I mean, we really buckled down and we saved every penny that we made, and there were a couple of tough times, but it's really all paying off now. That's all you gotta think about is like, it will pay off. It will get better. It won't suck forever. I'd rather, you know, buckle down and work hard for, you know, 10 months, was it, since we bought the camper?
Yeah, so once we bought the camper, we moved in together and we wanted to utilize what we could to what the camper could do for us. So we moved into a little RV resort, and that cost $700 a month, and that included your rent, your water, your cable, your Wi-Fi, and your sewage. So through that platform, using our camper, we were able to save $1,800 on our credit card, $2,000 in savings, $2,000 spending, and $1,500, $2,000 for gas and that took about 8 months to do. So it takes a long time, but it is able to be done.
Yeah.
And so that's what we left with just about 2 weeks ago on February 11th. So that's how we were able to, just to throw some numbers out there for you to know that's like, you know, I work with numbers, so I have to know, like, you know,
I'm terrible
how
with
much
numbers.
it is.
He's like my brain. I'm like, Eddie, what does this mean? Eddie, what does this mean?
Yeah, but the main ingredient for any of it is to find somebody that shares the same vision and goal as you do, which we do. We both wanted it. I knew that she wanted it, and she kind of awakened that spirit of traveling and wanting to do something, break away in me. So I was like, let's set out to do this. We ended up, you know, holding each other accountable by, you know, entering into a joint bank account. And by some people will say that's dumb, but what it did for us is kind of like, hey, I got this much.
Yeah,
hey,
it was like a competition. It's like, did you see I put this much in the account today? And he's like, well, wait till I put mine in tomorrow.
And for a lot of times, she was killing me on the savings because she was.
It was good. It was good that way because when
good for you. I was.
No. I'm saying the savings account was good because when we first started dating, we had separate accounts. My bank account was at like 13 cents and I had no savings, like 13 cents in my checkings. And Eddie was paying for all of our meals because he was trying to be a gentleman. Every time we would go somewhere, St. Augustine, everything, he'd pay for it, and he still had savings.
But I was living with my mama, not paying rent.
Okay, but he's better with money, so he kind of brought that onto me. And so, like he says, I brought the traveling idea to him. He brought the savings to me. So we both have been able to really work so good together to just make our relationship better and, you know, be more wiseful about everything.
And I feel like once a relationship lacks a vital goal is when it kind of starts to slowly deteriorate. So I like to keep goals in front of us and things to look forward to, because that gives us something to work toward. Like, hey, you know, I know today's slow, like life's feeling mundane and everything, but we have this goal, you know what I mean? Just kind of keeps us in love and working as a team towards the same thing, because nobody's better than anybody in their relationship. We try to work 50-50. You know, I can definitely hook up the hose better and, you know, do the sway bar system better. We can't really trust her to do this. I'm like, sweetie, just go sit in the camper while daddy gets everything set up. You know what I mean? Because if she does it, she'll turn in the hose and, you know, be leaking and stuff like that. Or we'll pull off in the trailer, we'll fall behind, you know. So, but that's just general biology, man. Female.
I'll let him have.
I'm just joking.
Man, female. Who taught you how to ride a motorcycle?
Ooh. Your dad?
Okay. All right. But I knew before he did. So, I mean, like, man, female, really? Okay. He rides on the back of the motorcycle.
Pretty sure I went to the Harley Davidson class, and within 2 days I was riding like Evel Knievel, so I don't know what to tell.
You're terrible.
But anyways, let's get back on to the point here. The point is that we just wanted to share what we came from, what we're doing. So now what we're doing is we've got that next goal now. Now we're going to the KOA. We got the job. We saved up. We're in California. We're almost there. We're excited.
We're like 4 days out.
Yeah,
Today's like day 12 or something,
yeah,
right?
so this is going to be our first time using the KOA as a platform and seeing what it's going to be like. But we've already set, goals and plans. We have them written down, so that way they're fresh in our mind. Like, hey, if we budget this much and save this much each week, this is what we can have at the end of the 8-month commitment. And we want to be able to document that for everybody else to kind of follow along with us, because it feels almost inconsiderate to be able to be flexing these pictures and everything and then being like, I don't want to be that type of person.
And that's not who we are. Like, oh, we want everyone to think we're better than them. It's like, we want to show y'all how awesome
we want a
this
family
life
of fifth wheels just riding together into the sunset. Michael Haley, her dad and Jackie, Corey and David. We just want to be riding around. So come on.
It's a little cultish, but it's okay.
It's not cultish.
Okay, it's cultish when Eddie talks about buying a huge land, 200 acres, and building houses for every one of our friends on there.
Yeah, but I'm not setting up some kind of like religious format that we have to do. Just trying to people taking care of people. If that's a cult, then I'm in.
Well, he convinced me. I guess I'm in too.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, and we'll be checking in. Just wanted to kind of document how we did it and just how grateful we are and just how attainable it really is and how we did it, and we're just so grateful, and we hope you guys keep sticking along with us.
Oh.